Hobart, it's 10:15 at night, and if you're in France, it's a lot earlier on a Sunday morning. It's probably it's afternoon. It's probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to give you a quick update on the tracker and the latest weather and so on as well. And we're even now today able to just keep Igor and Mark Sinclair in the map over there, and Jean-Luc right over the other side. He's now gone through the bottom of New Zealand and heading up into the Pacific side of the Southern Ocean, and the rest of the fleet is there. So the spread now is getting up towards 5,000 miles, which is crazy, but there you go, all part of the fun. So you know how we get to here with all the grids and so on. I'll now just put the weather in by hitting the little windsock there. We'll get the wind, and because we're spread out, I'll first of all concentrate on the tail enders here. I'll zoom it in a bit, and you can see what's going on as we speak. Igor sitting in a hole up here, no wind at all. I'll just check, yeah, we're not zooming in and out, that's okay. So Igor's not going anywhere, doing 0.2 of a knot in a nice calm, probably drying the boat out, maybe still working on his sails and so on. And this is going to go on for a couple of days. They're going to move really slow the next few days, which I mentioned 2 days ago. Mark Sinclair doing 1.8 knots. He's got a light headwind at the moment coming from the southeast, and that's holding him up. Coming down the fleet here, Loic's doing really well. He's holding his own with Isfan and Tapio, probably gaining a little bit even, but they've got good consistent breezes there. Loic's probably got 25, 30 knots coming on the starboard quarter. He's making 4.8 knots. The sea may be building up a bit because there's a bit here before, but certainly enjoying the ride, I reckon. Istvan's doing 5.9, and Tapio is doing a 5.6. So they're basically neck and neck at the moment. Right now, trying to close in on Susie. Now, Susie's been having a pretty reasonable time the last few days. Flying at the moment, 6.7 knots, right on course, right where she wants to be. This is the 40th parallel here, and that's a good spot. So she's actually picking up a bit on Nuku right now. He's only doing 4.4, and you can see why. He's in a light wind band at the moment, light following winds, which is even worse. Not sure what he'd have up there. He might have a kite up now, a bit hard to say. Now, Mark Slats has been having a wonderful time in the last couple of days, bouncing on and off the restricted zone. Now, if I drop that in, here's the restricted zone. Let's just zoom in, and I think most of you might have seen this. Here was his track a couple of days ago, came right down and literally bounced off the no-go zone, came back up and on. We've had a few people asking, how did he know exactly where it was with DR and celestial navigation and stuff? Well, we actually inform the entrance. We have an understanding with the entrance that if they get down to within 30 miles of the zone, we will definitely send them a message and tell them, hey, you're 30 miles from the zone. So he would have known. I think he was even aware of that before then, and he knew he got really close when he got right on the border because he had a headwind. He tacked away, very frustrating for him, but that's the name of the game. Now he's well clear, so he'll be right now. He'll be able to get around the corner and drop down. But if we come back here, we'll get rid of the no-go zone. You come back, he's in a big wind hole right now. And so the conditions are still a little bit frustrating, to say the least. This is his objective over here to Hobart. Let's put some measure markers on here and see how much he's got to go. I'll put one there, one here. We'll move it down. So right now, 830 miles. Let's say if it was 900 miles, if he was really flying, that'd be 6 days. It's a good 6 days at 150 miles a day. Or thereabouts, and he's not going to be doing that, so he's still probably a week away. He may not even make it by next weekend. We'll just have to wait and see. Uku's slowing down as well, so they're holding their positions. There's nothing happening. We'll look at the forward weather in a minute. Jean-Luc has had an interesting ride as well. I don't know whether everyone followed this when it was happening, but he sailed right through the straits here during the night. Had a nice breeze coming through. He had some big winds over this part of the world when he was coming through, but it died off just at the right time. Had a beautiful sail through here during the night, as I was saying. It's well lit. If we go through just another feature here, we're currently on the satellite maps. If we go into the Navionics chart, this is the same as a navigation chart on a ship's chart plotter. All the sailors watching this will relate to this, and it was interesting because when he went through, you can actually, this should be pretty accurate. It's not ground proofed. When he got into Tassie, he went over the rocks and islands, but this may not be accurate, but he took a pretty good course. There's some good lights here, lighthouses and beacons. Remembering Jean-Luc sailed through here without any chart plotter or GPS, but he was aware of his positions going in. The weather was good. And he had the lighthouses and so on to work with, nonetheless, and it saved him a lot of time. So if we go back, if we come back out of that, and I'll go back to normal charting here. We go back to satellite, put the wind back on again. Get windy TY. We've got his permanent track. You can see what happened. I'll go down one size. He absolutely nailed this. I've asked it to do too many things. I'm just going to reboot it here so you can see. He nailed it because he saved a lot of time. If another entrant comes through to do this and they don't get just the right conditions, it may take them at least another day to get around the bottom of New Zealand. Now, when this catches up in a minute, come on, here it comes. I'll show you why. It's an interesting thing. So we're back on to Jean-Luc. We'll go through here. We'll put the wind on there. Boom, boom. Now, you can see he got pushed up with the heavy winds here, came back down, ran it around, and there's a little island here called Snares Island just there. You can go anywhere between Snares Island and the bottom of New Zealand. So if someone wasn't right to go through here, they've got to come further down here, and then they've got to go further up there, and it adds on quite a distance. You know, it added on probably nearly 100 miles, which is nearly a day. So that was a good call by Jean-Luc, and he's reaping the benefit of that again because he's moved further away. If we put the measure markers on here again, we'll just see what the gap now is to mark slats. He just, Jean-Luc just keeps pulling away. So we'll put one there, and one over here, and move them on. We're there. So we're now 1,860 nautical miles is the gap. Remembering also that's a straight line gap, and Mark Slat's going to have to come up and in, so that'll cost him at least a day. So that's another 150. He's nearly 2,000 miles ahead now. Jean-Luc is just screaming, and his speeds are consistently high. Some people will be saying, oh, he's just getting good weather, good weather. If you look at the speeds of the rest of the fleet in equivalent winds and so on, when the average boats are slowing down, Jean-Luc has always been moving. He's, I still don't think to this day he's hove to or stream warps or anything like that. He just understands the principles of keeping the boat moving and keeping it moving in a safe way. So, yep, he's doing pretty well, and he's got a great breeze now. He needs to come up. In fact, I'll put the course on here, and you can, where are we? Hang on a sec. This is the no-go zone. Jean-Luc's got to come up here over the Bounty Islands and get up a bit, and so he's got a nice breeze there. We'll start looking at his forward weather. We'll bring it forward 24 hours, and it's just dying off nicely for him, so he's going to be working his way up here. That's day one. We'll go off again. Day two. Oop, he's got a big breeze. So he's going to get some solid breezes all behind him, and we'll watch his speed with real interest there. The sea will probably build up, but not that much. Let's look at the waves here, because it's not blowing for a long time. It's coming through pretty quick. So if we pull that forward another day, the 17th, see what the sea's doing. Okay, it's dropped back again, so it's back down to sort of 4 or 5 meters or something. So that's all pretty cool, but there's a big breeze here. So by then, Jean-Luc's there. I'm looking at this for the first time, as you are, by the way. So this is a bit interesting. Ooh, there's going to be some fun here. So Jean-Luc is going to be, he'll be mixing it in through this area here. I think he's going to miss the worst of it, but it's certainly showing that there's still some big breezes around there. So let's go back and look at the rest of the fleet. I'll get this off here. We'll look at their weather, and there is a bit of a blow coming for some of them. We're back to real-time weather now for today, and I'll forget about the guys at the back. Otherwise, we have to change the zoom. We'll go back to them in a minute. So we've got Loic here, Istvan, Tapio, Susie, and Uku. So let's just go and Mark Slats as well. So we'll go forward a day, bring it forward to there, see what's happening. All pretty nice. Uku's got a breeze, Mark's going to have a nice breeze, so he'll be back underway. Susie's going to lighten off a bit, but the rest of them are fine. They'll be making boat hull speed. So let's go through another day. So this is day 2. All pretty good back here. They should make the most of that. All very pleasant. Uku's got some northerlies. He'll be okay. Mark Slats may have an issue. He's going to be mixing it with this no wind zone. He will have moved on a bit, but he might just get hooked up and lose a day there. If that's the case, Uku will probably be still sailing, so he might close the gap a bit. So that's the 16th, so that's 2 days ahead. Let's push it through one more, so go 3 days. Mark Slats, boy, that's frustrating, and he might get caught in this. As he's sneaking forward, this no wind band is moving forward as well. Uku will be forward, so he's still got a sailing breeze, so that's okay. Susie's coming up. I think all these guys will be moving okay down the back, so that's pretty good. But then there's some big changes coming up very shortly, another day ahead. This is the start of some stuff happening here, but nothing real frustrating there. I think Mark Slats, looking at this, yeah, he won't be too happy with this. 3-4 days from now, he'll definitely be falling into this hole. So it's going to be a slow trip there. Anyway, let's in the tail. These guys down the back here, they're fine. We'll go forward another day or two. Here's where a big one's starting to come in, which is a little bit hard to predict right now because I saw it yesterday and it's changed a bit now. It was looking a bit more nasty than this. Yesterday they've lightened off. It's Jane was having a look at it and I said, oh look, nothing to worry about yet. It was 4 or 5 days ahead and the forecast can change, but it'll be something to watch. There's something going to be happening that's another day ahead. You can see it's starting to form up here. If we go right to the end, another day. Nope, disappeared. Okay, boy, yesterday it was looking, oh, there's going to be some fun, but it's looking reasonable. By then, let's hope Mark is either close to Hobart or in. And still some fun ahead. Let's go back. We look at our tail enders back here. I'll go back to real time now. We'll just zoom in, see when we're talking about these guys. Here they go. Oh, that's a bit too far. So this is today. This is today's weather. We go forward a day. Yep, still frustrations there. You can see Igor's going to have light headwinds and Mark's going to run out of wind. So we'll go forward another one. 16, that's day 2. Normally I'd say they'd probably be sailing, but by then they will actually be over here. They will have made a little bit more easting and they're coming into a hole. So yeah, plenty of frustrations for these guys still. We'll go forward another day to the 17th. What's happening? Here it comes. Okay, they finally got breeze. So that's the 17th. That's the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. So 2.5 days of frustrations coming up here before they get a reasonable breeze, and that's this big massive high pressure system here centered at about 35. By then they need to be down here. They need to get back down onto 40 as quick as they can still to make the most of it. And there's some winds coming up behind them, so we'll go forward another day. Let's see what's happening. Nope, level out, looks good. If they don't use this to get down here, they've got rocks in their head. They got to be down there in the next 4 or 5 days. They just got to get there. Oh, jeepers. And even then, it's still not going to be easy because that big high is getting pushed out by a little low pressure system that's forming here. And they're going to be in between it. So, yep, it's going to be a problem. They're still going to go slow. They'll get there before Christmas, I'm sure. Well, what's that? Yeah, that's that one here. So there's still some interesting stuff here. This is on the 19th. And we'll just watch this space. Too hard to predict. So all good. We'll see you again in about 2 days, and I'm going to do a question and answer session. So watch out for that on Facebook. Probably on Tuesday I'll do that. Thanks a lot. See you later.